Hello and welcome back to another video. Nice to see you all. This week I was going to do a quick video on what a beginner would need to get into the OSR genre and what you're going to need to play. So let's start off really basic. You're going to choose a system. Now the systems that I would choose this is great, but it's a bit more expensive if it's going to be your first game. Otherwise, Old School Essentials is brilliant. It's got a lot of what you need to get into the game. Well, they all do, but this is really well put out book. I'm not really going to go through every page, but look at how nice and clean the tables are. It's got ribbons in it. It's got a table for each character class, and it clearly lays out what every sort of race does, what a magic user is over a few pages. Very clear, very well laid out. If you're good with PDFs, get the PDF for a bit cheaper. Otherwise, this is brilliant. I would highly recommend it. If you want to go for something a bit cheaper, White Box, this is cheap as chips. This I think the PDF is, I'm not even sure if it's any money. It might be $1 or something like that. Otherwise, not quite as clearly laid out, but still really easy to understand. And it's so basic. All you ever use in White Box is a die 6 and a die 20, and away you go. Really easy. Another really good option for a beginner would be Basic Fantasy by Chris Gonneman. Another winner. Now, the PDFs for this are free. Anything from Basic Fantasy is free. And this is the hardback book, which cost me about £10, £12. The softback book off Amazon is only about, I think, about £7. I don't know what that is in dollars. I'll add a couple of dollars when I talk about pounds, add a couple of dollars for the exchange rate. That's about it. But this is so basic as well. It does what it says on the tin. It's Basic Fantasy role play. So these are some of the games that I would suggest that you get into when you play. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to understand how OSR works. OSR is often more lethal. It's more, you make it up as you go along. And when I say that, what I mean is not everything's on your character sheet. Not everything's there in black and white. A great rule of thumb for OSR style games, I will say, not everybody will agree with me, but if you're playing your first one and you think, well, how do we arbitrate rules? What I will say is you roll for your character scores as you do in normal D&D, like 3 die 6 or 4 die 6, take away the lowest, up to you however you do it. But then generally you roll a die 20, and if you roll equal to or below the ability modifier for whatever you want to do is related to, you've passed. So for example, for strength, you could roll a die 6 and roll under, and your strength score is say 16, you rolled a 6, then you've succeeded at the thing you want to do strength wise. Same for dexterity if you want to balance or pick a lock. Same for wisdom. Some people use intelligence for spotting things in OSR. Some people use wisdom for spotting things in OSR. You don't have to do that because, well, let's not go down the rabbit hole there, but that is generally how a lot of people would do it in a nutshell. Okay, so that's how you would arbitrate rules really quickly, really easily in this game that weren't already defined by character abilities, by the way. So that's what you need to know for arbitrating that sort of thing. Next up, don't think too much about it. Just plunge straight in. Just get yourself a dungeon and move on with, well, you know, exploring the game, having a bit of a dungeon. So make a small dungeon and get cracked in. Don't worry about game balance. If you want something pre-made, though, the people who do Basic Fantasy have multiple games pre-generated scenarios that you can use, and they are all free if they're not printed on PDF version. There are multitudes of them and they're brilliant to use. Otherwise you can get them on print, and they're all about, I think this one was about £4 in the UK. This is a full adventure for about £4. Black Apple Brew, it is really well reviewed, but we're not going to go into the details of that. So you've got yourself a starting point. You've got yourself the game you want to play. You know that it's going to be a bit more lethal. You know it's going to be a little bit more rulings as opposed to rules. And the last thing I would say that you should need is to remember that there's a group contract between you as the dungeon master and your players. Your players are going to need to trust you that you're going to arbitrate rules on the fly in an open way. And for me, I like to roll openly in front of my players what the dice roll is. This dice isn't very good for being able to see what you've rolled, unfortunately, on this camera. But for some people don't like to do that. I like to roll openly in front of the players, except for where it's not appropriate. All attack rolls. everything, because people know that what's happening is under the fate of the dice. Instead of being somebody who's constantly fudging the rolls to be on my player's side, instead I am openly showing to them, look, I'm playing this game with you, and it's all fair, and there's equal chances of amazing things happening and equal chances of dreadful things happening to your characters. But that's what makes OSR brilliant, is because there is no given right that anything good that happens to you, like, it is made by me, the dungeon master. It is luck and it is player ingenuity, and that is what makes OSR great. And that is my very quick guide on what you should need to start playing the OSR game. Have the mindset of OSR. Read a quick primer to Old Style Play by Matt Fitch, I believe, and get yourself stuck in. Again, white box, so cheap. Basic fantasy, so cheap. This, brilliantly set out. If you can afford it, get this. Otherwise, don't worry about it. These two are fine. These two are fine. In fact, some of my favourite most games probably been in this at the moment, and this. Well, all of them really, but anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.